Thank you very much.
I really have to appreciate God, and I have to thank all the members of my committee for sacrificing their time to see that we have a successful budget defense. And finally today, we were able to bring the report to the House to pass it for the third reading. So we thank God, and we really appreciate all the members of the committee. And I hope that all the funds which we have appropriated during the defense, at the end of the day, there will be releases so as to have high performances of the budget. Actually, there are some figures which were appropriated from the Ministry of Budget, which were budgeted, that we have to call the ministries and the MDS during the budget defense, so that we can harmonize the figures and see what are some of the figures for, so that we can see are we to decrease it or to increase the figure. So that is through the processes. Then we observe that some of the figures must be downsized. So if you can check the report which I have led before the Honorable House, the recurrent have raised with about 9 billion, while the capital had been downsized. Yes, because some of the projects, so you know, the security challenges we are facing, some projects cannot even be executed. So we try as much as we can to reduce the size of the budget so as to have high performance in order to meet up with the requirement of the EPSA standard. This time around, I assure you, by the special grace of God, as the security challenges are going down due to the high commitment by the Zamfara State Governor, I think by the special grace of God, things will go well, and the releases of the funds which was appropriated will actually be done accordingly. As you can, if you read the report which I have led before the Honorable House, I have make it part of my recommendation that all the House standing committees, each ministry and MDS, have a supervising committee under this Honorable House. We have already mandated, or we said it in our recommendation, that all the House standing committees should tidy up their belt and make sure that all the ministers and the MDS have done what they are supposed to do actually.
Recommendation number one, the committee said that the sum of 159,481,857,029 naira only was recommended for issue and appropriation from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Zamfara State in respect of the year ending 31st December 2022 for the purposes specified in the schedule. Those experts say aye. Against the nays, I have submitted. 2. That out of the total sum issues and appropriated, the sum of 85,975,000,000 only was allocated as capital expenditures. Those experts say aye. Against the nays, I have submitted. 3. That the sum of 73,506,857,029 naira only was earmarked for recurrent expenditures. Those experts say aye. Against the nays, I have submitted. 4. The committee recommend that the committee recommend for the need to identify those departments and agencies of government that do not have laws to guide their operation and make law for them to abate revenue leakages. Those experts say aye. Against the need, I have surveyed. 5. That the committee recommend for the state revenue law be amended to capture some departments and agencies that are not in law and reduce fines. Those experts say aye. Against the need, I have surveyed. 6. That this Honorable House shall mandate the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation and that of Public Accounts to investigate the MDS defaulting remittance of revenue to the State Board of Internal Revenue. Those experts say aye. Against the need, I have surveyed. 7. That the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Budget shall strategize and work in harmony so as to avoid disparities in records and the book of account. Those experts say aye. Against the need, I have surveyed. Number 8, that the committee recommends the need for training and retraining of finance officers, administrative officers, and planning officers on the use of international public sector accounting standard IPSAS in bracket to meet up with the current accounting standard. Those who support say aye. Against say neither observe it. Number 9, that the Board of Internal Revenue should put more effort to generate more revenue so as to ensure better performance of the 2022 budget. Those who support say aye. Against say neither observe it. Also, the committee gives the note below the recommendation. Number 1, number 2, number 3, that Appendix A, Appendix B, and Appendix C show all the necessary things I want to look into it. Just a spot for the Appendix A, B, C, we say aye. Against the neither observe it. The committee also makes the following prayers to the Honorable House, that this Honorable House do accept and adopt all the recommendations of this committee therein for the betterment of our people and the development of their state. And also the committee pray that the clean copy after giving third reading should transmit to the executive governor for an assent. Then also the third reading should be given to the bill and transmit the sum to the Honorable, to the Excellency, the executive governor for assent. Those who support for the prayers may also say aye. Against the neither observe it. Now that today, Wednesday, the 22nd of December 2021, this Honorable House unanimously resolved to give a law to issue and appropriate sum from the consolidated revenue of the State, the sum of 159,381,857,099 naira, 67 kobo only, being capital and recurrent expenditures for the fiscal year ending 31st December 2022, and to appropriate the sum as specified in the schedule, and it is third reading will be given anonymously. Do you agree to give the bill anonymously? Third reading? Do you allow to give the bill third reading, honorable colleague? Mr. Clark, go ahead and give the bill third reading. Go ahead. Let me use the opportunity on behalf of the Honorable House to thank the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, the Chairman or the Acting Chairman of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Shamsuddin Hassan Talata Mufara, as well as members of the committee, by extension, all honorable members of the President's Assembly, for their contribution towards the final stages of this report. We thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the members, and all members of the President's Assembly.